Okay, Fambulemuna, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Wherever, which partner the world where you there, I'm sure say one of the greeting modes, it does fit in. Obviously, this is a short program, but in the process of democracy, we get for continue for crack on. So therefore, I say on today, the 30th of August, on a Sunday, where I am, some people in the break early, some people in the break late, but on the 30th of August, where I am, 2020, I want to bring warm greetings to you all from the Then and Now platform. The process of democracy is an ongoing process. It's an ongoing struggle which is full of contradictions. But those contradictions does not mean that we stop, where we've got doubts, but we get for transverse on because the process get for continue. Because if we say we take them as it is, then obviously we are not going to achieve a goal that we will have set ourselves to achieve, which is one of freedom, which is one of emancipation, which is one of accountability, which is one of transparency. The two contradictions are many. Today, we want to talk about something specific na Sierra Leone, and then about Constituency 110, and I call them the Travesty of democracy. And therefore, before I even go further, I want for say thank you and welcome to many people who don't tune in. And I also they ask that we share this video. Don't be selfish. Let's share it. Antagonists, friends, where I call frenemies. Let me all just share them because this is an issue of national prominence. National things now we need to talk about. So I want to say welcome. Okay, I just see my brother Benjamin Iakai Banja, the son of an educated farmer, just sent something. Let's see whether I able to see. And family owner, forgive me. Normally I don't talk about this, but I did talk about it a little bit. If you look at the right eye, you will see say the healer about 3 weeks ago went under a minor, operation where the vision being partial, but now I thank God, but still the healer. But we get work for do so, it not means I get for lay down. So let's see whether I able to see Brother Iakai Banja before I even start the show. But Superman welcome needs approval. Okay, Superman wants to join the program. Okay, Superman, if you hear me, just hold on right there. I will give you approval shortly. Prince, I am here representing the voice of the silent majority of Sierra Leoneans who happen to be SLPP members. Okay, Brother Iakai Banja, I don't know why you call them the silent majority. That means you don't adjudicate on something already we don't understand. But all the same as a brother and a friend, and with much respect I get for you, you are equally welcome. And feel free for call the program. You know the number and you already get the code. So if at some point you want to join the program, please feel free for do so. But today I want to talk about Constituency 110, and I talk about it without any bias. So I ask Fambulen for keep an open mind, a very, very open mind. Now a brother say he want to join the program, let's see. Okay, I not get no invitation from him yet. Probably the struggle with the code. So Fambulen, wanna bear with me. Now monologue now been do, but at the same time, if person want to join the program, I have no problem at all because the issues of transparency we want pride myself on, and that transparency there we will continue for doing now this particular platform. We know say we get attacks from left, right, and center, but notwithstanding, that don't mean say we go stop waiting they do. Okay, and not mean say we go stop waiting they do. So like I just send this code for this brother, we apparently one joined the show and he left on last minute of time whilst I've almost gone on. Last minute of time where I just don't go on. But let's see anyway if I can fen them and just send them to RAM. Okay, and you will have to wait while I develop my platform. They go get for wait while I develop my platform. Okay, you go get for wait while I develop my platform. So Fambulem again, Teruna, thank you for tuning in. And we begin, the program not begin, of course, but they can go into the real issue very soon. And what I will say is, In as much as we want to talk about this program here tonight, but I want to let you understand something, because when we look at the way the subject matter goes, in other words, some people then go call them the topic, which is Constituency 110, where I believe say to every one of us, not a strange constituency, because it don't be on we mindset, on we political platform for over 1 year, I think now 14 or 15 months ongoing. So we know the story. So I'm not going to belabor on that story the way we understand, other than for talk about them in a different way. And in that different way, Fambulem, I want for let we understand something. One, for begin with, I want let we understand the word democracy. And when I say I want for let we understand them, I they talk about contextually, because in many, many ways, we do understand the word. Let me look at the definition, apart from what the forefathers, the founding fathers of America, they say, by the people, for the people, and with the people. But democracy also talks about a system of government, and this is what I want for we'll talk about or keep at the back of our minds tonight. It talks about a system of government which involves the population. So it's going to be a little bit of a teaching. And if anybody get questions, make a known, and we also are willing for learn. When I say teaching, it's not like I'm only doing this from a one-sided point of view, but also open to listening. So democracy, in this sense, where they talk about that system of government, which means the population is involved, even if not to all of the population, but we expect the entire population to be involved, but even if not to all of the population, but a vast majority of the population has to be involved. And when I say not to all of the population, so maybe we can use some kind of dichotomy for set this thing apart from the traditional way we sabi, I mean, hopefully it's not false. And this is it, that the majority, those that are eligible, the eligible members of the republic, of the state, of the nation, okay? And in some respect, depending on how you try to use the word, we go talk about the elected members or representatives of government. I hope I make that clear. And there is a typical example why I try to use this description here tonight, because it's so relevant to the discussion we about to have. And if you can see, there is a mixture of the word democracy, and I also ask a question regarding, not even a question, I also coin them with a word called travesty. Travesty. Waiting a travesty. Okay? As we go understand and formulate, travesty of justice, as I try for use them, is a legal definition of an act where a person can do, okay, or perform or carry out, which is found to be unjust as to waiting now your expectations, what you expect for achieve. Typical example, if you were to conduct a process, let's say a parliamentary process via an elections, and the expected outcome go against that, not awaiting the winner supposedly believe, but the general principle of the people, waiting at the procedure, the process, and it turned out to be completely different. It turned out to be a travesty. So travesty, now a mockery of waiting something supposed to be. Now an imitation, not the originality of waiting something supposed to be. It is grotesque, it is uncalled for, and it is a mockery of democracy. And within this context, this day, today, the 30th of August, 2020, I want to talk about Constituency 110, as we've never spoken of it before. So Fambulen, welcome to the program. I want again for remind una do a big, una let we share this. Like we've been do before, there's a tradition on this platform in which we can share them, okay? So let's move on. Let's move on. Let's see who that all we get. I know say Brother Benji sent something, and I hope say I don't address them. Talk about the silent majority. I mean, people never really stop shy of giving away certain, things. The silent majority. So one being the one that waiting at the silent majority, but the brother go no. I want to welcome few people. Brother Gali Mansare. Bangali Mansare, we na co-founder, co-host of this particular program. Brother Nede feel too well, so I wish him well. Brother Ibrahim Samora, someone knee is on the neck of our, wow, I just see this, Brother Samora, aptly described. I cannot agree with you more. A knee on our democracy. And the reason why other people can complain is like when you talk, it's like a center on somebody, a focus on somebody. This is not the case. It's a general description of how our democracy look. Yes, you might feel like the one being spoken to at the moment because of your position where you occupy, let's say government, for example. So if we are critical of democracy at this point, then the government does bear responsibility. But if you take that responsibility and factor in with status quo, how things are supposed to be, then this will be a learning process other than a blame game of then and now, of trade and now, other than, for let we restore the system so we people can go benefit. I just open the page and see a contribution by Brother Ibrahim Samora. Many thanks for that. That is so profound. And I've been trying to say thank you to many other people and we don't tune in. Mr. James Musa Kaikai, welcome to the program. Sister Brother Kemosi Se, Brother Lamin Dinke, Martha Bangura, and I can go on and on and on. People are signing on. Me little son, Jack Jones, Salimantu, Mansare, Ibrahim, Mr. Ibs Bangura. Welcome to the program. Let me move on. I say I want to talk about Constituency 110, and I don't describe the way I want to talk about today. Never been spoken of as such. And this, as I aptly believe, say I describe is a travesty of democracy, which means a mockery of waiting we, the people, expect. Fambulem. Some time ago, elections were held for this particular constituency what we talk about. Before those elections, somebody been win that constituency day, but from waiting really understand representing democracy, that decision they been get for reverse. Okay? That decision was reversed. When that decision was reversed, democracy in itself became questionable as we've been supposed to understand them. But as I say, democracy is something we get many, many contradictions. It's not like it's not a flawed program or a situation where you call perfect. No, it's not perfect. It get in your flaws and it get in your many contradictions. And during the process of organizing, processing, using this particular program called democracy, you can see the flaws by the contradictions which can happen with waiting exist and waiting in the try for change and the way forward. But in this case, Constituency 110 elections for a member of parliament was revoked. In other words, the people's then vote by virtue of the numbers we make somebody for occupy the position was reversed because somebody make a claim, say something not right. These are the contradictions. So in as much as many people vote for constitute somebody for be elected, not selected, which is part of the process of democracy, that person they became the member of parliament for that constituency. But in the same process of democracy, issues were raised because we try to make the system perfect, which is not, which will never be, but to some acceptable standards, we can disagree for agree and move forward. Now, that elections day of that parliamentary person day being therefore be revoked. And for legitimize the process, the court therefore take part on the process. I mean, this is what the process is. So the people they show their love and concern for their constituency, exercise their democratic rights, but then something else make that right day not possible. So when they revoke that, the constituency left without a parliamentarian. Do you hear me, Fambule? The constituency left without a parliamentarian. Let we bear this in the back of our mind. This is not biasness. Like my brother, say, the silent voice of the lesser. When I say the lesser, I mean the minority, which I don't agree with, but that's his characterization. So we try to keep them very open. So now the constituency is left with no one. And this has taken place, or this has been happening for a long, long time. For over 14 months now, Fambulem, a constituency has no representative. And this constituency, now people they represent. So I want for let we imagine briefly, and I go give 30 seconds for let it sink down or sink in, whichever way we want to call them. The constituency, one of the biggest, if not even the biggest, because the constituency where they talk about 110, it begins from all the way now God reach. Some say also get property. It begins all the way now God reach and extend all the way to a place where we call Tombo. Does that make a sense to you when I call the word Tombo? So the reason why I want to lay emphasis on that again, the word Tombo, the place Tombo, is not too long ago, we've been getting some sort of fraction or infraction, if you will like. I hope I use the word the right way, because sometimes you can get tongue-tied when you talk. But because people in the watch, we left, right, and center, and even when you not cross UT or dot UI, which you should do, we are taking on that, say, well, you need to do that, which I accept. But if you remember Tombo, you remember say some kind of unrest been one of the many contradictions inside with democracy, we don't create some sort of tension inside the current system as we understand them, where people then they try for ascribe or attribute to the performance of the opposition without sometimes looking at what is actually ongoing there. Because if my livelihood of myself or me, the basic provider anywhere in the world, be it the United States of America, be it in the United Kingdom of Great Britain, be it in Germany, be it anywhere inside a Western democracy, when the livelihood of a people, of a person is threatened, there is going to be a reaction. For every action, there is an equal and opposite. Sometimes it's not equal, but there is a reaction. And this is the case. And I want to put them in the context of Tombo. But Tombo, not only we talk, I just try to throw light on that. So we understand that. Okay? So even if the opposition, which is possible, go on and play games there, now because the atmosphere is conducive, the atmosphere is right. So somebody tap into that. Somebody try to make use of that for create some sort of disharmony. But back to constituency 110, for a long, long time, over 14 months, when the decision taken by the people, the sovereign people of constituency 110, the decision was revoked because there were complaints that something was not right. And when I talk about the contradictions again, this is it. The decision that was taken to revoke, reverse the decision by the constituents of 110 could have been, would have been, is very much in place. But it's like, why didn't we identify this particular problem before going into balloting? Why didn't we? Why make we not do that? Why only after the people not make decision, now the only time where we decide for reversal? And looking at the case study now, it sounds like there is something, here of a discussion to be had on this. Because very well, we don't address the situation. But let me assume, say, we not be know. Or there was a general assumption, say, maybe it will go the other way. If it go the other way, there wouldn't be any use for let we try for revoke the decision. But now that it go this way, let me see. And I say this, theoretically, when we look at what happened, from a circumstantial point of view, we see, say, or we understand, say, one side they win the elections and the other side not they win the elections. So therefore, that election process they being scrapped. And let me not forget about the many things will happen there. Okay? Inside this young democracy, many things don't happen, and going behind or beyond the young democracy, many things don't happen. And when I say many things, I mean very many things don't happen inside this very young democracy where we get, okay? Inside this very young democracy where we get, many things don't happen. Famulem, let we keep an open view. It is true that sometimes we can be biased. Bias, now one attribute where they inside all of we must among them. Okay? All of we must among them get some degree of bias inside we. This is not something where we cannot deny. That biasness, they can be judged by the way how you portray yourself. But those of us that are listening get an equal responsibility for listen to what is being said, not make a decision only by reading the book in cover. Where you don't listen, try for absorb within you hear. So for typical example, we did talk about Constituency 110. How Constituency 110 is being left out now without an MP. So inside a democracy, the people will vote. Okay, I think we got a guest. Okay, guest, if you hear me, I will come to you soon. Inside a constituency, the people vote and are part of the democratic process. When you nullify that process day, and that process day become questionable or is not attended to in a short period of time, you only create more acrimony, more animosity, more of a dislike, more of a discord between you, and they talk about the authorities, and the people. Because yes, there could be questions. If person in lodge complain about a certain process, that process day has to be looked into. But when that process day is looked into, it has to be addressed, and has to be addressed in due course, in due time. If it's not, it raises the prospect of foul play and all kind of funny talk, here become the issue of the day. So in this regard, we say Constituency 110 has been deprived of the right. And they say this in behalf of the people. This constituency, therefore, has been deprived of the right of which it is supposed for enjoy. So anyway, before I go any further, because there's a little bit more for say, and I may want to do this like a 1 hour program, we get 30 minutes. I get one of we correspondent in Nadidene now, of course, so therefore he's no stranger. He's been known for not sitting on the fence. Of course, different people get different view of him, but that doesn't really matter, because what you want to talk about, now waiting matter, what you really talk about. And most people not seem to understand social media as yet. I do know this because we do the check facts findings all of the time. So with me here for take on Constituency 110, is a man who I consider for be a brother and a friend. We also they champion a cause and get a program on this very platform, the Then and Now. Inside Salon today, the program is called Mr. Mohammed Supermed Kamara. Mohammed, welcome to the program, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Prince Emir Kuma. Thank you very much.
Okay, without much ado, democracy, I sure say you go agree with me. I try to describe them from the very beginning or define them within a different sense, because the basic way how we can define them is for the people, by the people, with the people. But contextually, how I talk tonight, I try for give, of course, a dictionary meaning, which is it's a system of government which involves the entire population. And more so relevant to my discussion tonight, it involves eligible members, people that will qualify, will confirm as members of the of the state through elected, and this is not the key phrase, elected representatives. And one of the words that I use again, if you go look at my topic, is the word travesty, which is some kind of an act which supposed to be one thing but turns out to be the other. In other words, a mockery or imitation of something we're supposed to be. So the entire, for put them in context, the entire constituency 110, waiting we see the happen day, waiting may not happen day, is a mockery of justice. Waiting how you take, Mr. Kamara.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Prince Emil Kuma, and I say hi to the viewers then. I mean, the word where you use travesty is very, very correct, and it very, it explains the whole thing. You know, the travesty to me here is where the defenders of democracy in that country, you know, the civil society, the interreligious council, other key stakeholders, the judiciary, the parliamentarians, all the different key stakeholders, them, for make the people of constituency 110 done there for over a year. They're not a representative where they represent in a parliament. So basically, they are not part of the democracy where they go on at the country. So the most worrying thing to me, how can all key bodies they are so go sit down, let this they happen? They not talk nothing. This don't take over a year. You know, how they go sit down and not talk nothing, and this they go on when it's a huge section of a society not get somebody they represent them. They are not part of the democracy at all. How can this go on in any country where they see themselves as democratic? You know, that is the travesty to me, because I watch them people they are so for be key stakeholders in society. Where for make sure say some of the key thing them in society, we follow them, we respect them, like the constitution what we get, where say everybody in the country should be represented. Now a multi-party democracy what we get. So one of the fundamental way where everybody in the country will be represented, now where you get a member of parliament where they represent your interest in parliament. If that not happen for you, a huge section of people, they don't do over a year. Meanwhile, the parliament they continue, or everything else they continue. These are the only people in the constituency 110 will not get a young voice for be heard in the parliament. That is a real travesty. And they make a mockery.
Yeah.
So with democracy.
You're absolutely correct. To be in denial of this, you know, I mean, one guy for scratching head and wonder, Uda would disagree with this, because laying the case in itself, when you look at which other questions you will ask? We're not talking about, you know, like individuals, like people that will be occupied, how they try to make a case for individuals. We are talking in behalf of the people. Some people they say on behalf. And just a matter of notice. In behalf, on behalf can be, you know, used interchangeably. I know I've been used at one time and people complain in behalf. Sometimes you get to understand American from British, British from American. So, you know, part of my training is more American. So I use in and other American, you know, kind of terminologies. But on behalf, traditionally, of the people, this is what we talk about. A constituency where no get representative is unfair. And I just begin for develop and begin, like I say, this constituency is one of the biggest constituencies in the country, running from Godrich all the way to Tumbo. It's been marginalized, and no other way you can describe it but being marginalized, because government try for live on to responsibility by holding and other elections for filling that gap where we exist. But for some reason, that election did not go down well, which is on another level. When another big issue that because for the first time, we see now we country, don't get us wrong, we country don't go through many things, ballot stuffing, rogue elections, cheating, and the rest of it. But we see them on another level when openly on film and camera, we see the vote of the people, the right of the people in a democracy being trampled upon by officials that could be easily identified because they were on tape. And 14 months plus on, we haven't seen any retribution, any action being taken, whether by Ben Kaifala, the ACC scribe, because this also is subject to corruption. whether by the judiciary, which suddenly, because there was no case against Mr. Paolo, retired Major Paolo Conte, on the basis of treason, had to let go. And then suddenly, this not the same judiciary, when all yeri boku case for many months, we they try to understand. These people are saying that this judiciary is now, full of freedom. It's now an open democracy. Well, that in itself, the people and they make the judgment, and people in need for no. But on back to constituency 110, Mr. Sultanhead, the travesty still continue that the people are not get, a representation. Man, we understanding things there, I suppose. Without representation at parliament for them people there, what does it mean for one of the biggest constituency in Asalon?
Yeah, it means a lot. It means nobody know the way they look after the interest in the parliament. Because now parliament, they make the laws them na the country. And that they as the checks and balances to the executive. So let's say, for instance, the people in that constituency 110, not like certain go the way they make. Then for able to go to the MP and say, well, we not like that go the way they make to what they can towards the constituency, we not like them. So the MP for able to go that particular way and that lobby in the parliament say a lobby against that go to become a constituency not like them. But then people are don't deny their rights. So that don't mean say completely by the democracy when they take place in Sierra Leone, they're not represented at all. They not get Uda for complaint or they not get Uda for talk to where something they monitor them, where something they at them. So this all now the really sad situation. And again, Mr. Prince Coleman, the other thing more for know about this particular issue here is even the fact that we see when they destabilize part of the polling centers them. That alone as well in now the Constitution of Sierra Leone not give the Chief Electoral Commissioner the mandate for cancel the whole election. No, if we're able to cancel the center, that is clearly stated by we electoral laws.
Let me ask you that again, because what you just say is so critical as part of the conversation. I will expect you to repeat that, but if I understand you well, let's see whether I'm able to paraphrase them again. You are saying that because we now know say the elections now constituency 110 was cancelled by the elections commissioner, the main man, Mr. Umfa Ali. They say it not being here right for cancelling? Did I hear you well? Did the viewers then hear you well?
Absolutely, they hear me well. That's what I say, because we get to electoral acts where all the inside the constitution. It's always say if then at the place where the ballot discussion will take place, like a small center where it gets other small waiting and call them. If that particular waiting cannot reach certain percentage of the votes, they cancel that side because it don't happen before. Even presidential election, I don't know what be, but that cut back in a Kailan where over voting will take place there, then cancel it, then count the other one them. And now this one, the vote will come on is less than 5% of the total vote and the constituency. So that the particular vote will be done left them for able to tally them, count them and get the final waiting and go. Or waiting the electoral commissioner could have done as well. If I say, okay, now the other result, the other side where no disruption not take place, that ballot thing, okay, let it stay there so. Then yeah, when the disruption take place, now we make a recount of that same side day, that polling center day. They make sure say the people can do and back them vote day. If one validate them, but a day within your rights. For even for cancel that side day, that polling center day, and look into the general, the whole constituency and declare the results according to the winner where check the overall constituency. So it definitely two way than in the way the constitution allow them for go. But for let a cancel the one all election, that was a power override. I mean, he used power where he not be get at all according to electoral act and that country. So that the other travesty in the back, I believe say really, but the mother make a mockery unto with democracy, and many people they scratch their head. How this they happen in a country like this, and it don't take winner over a year. Now that constituency they take till no representation day. And these are the questions so for the ask. Why?
Yeah, this now real bombshell now you put down, and I want to ask something else, but I just talk to Mr. Ibrahim to say if you hear me, I thank you very much. I don't know who saw you there and look like a first timer on the banner now. I might be wrong on this one. Um, Take me number and I want to let you get in touch with me because we need to do more on constituency 110. I mean, the issue of governance is not a joke. If anybody does back something which is half-hearted, which is not constitutional, then that means you're only paying service to the existing structure will probably favor you. But in talking about the entirety of a situation, a country of 7 to 8 million people, where everybody's supposed to be involved in a process, then obviously constituency 110 is meant to be discussed and looked at, yeah, from a wide lens, a wide prism, not only from a tunnel vision perspective. So, Mr. Sise, take me number. I really want to talk to you because I'm going to look for people away there, constituency 110, myself, a property owner there, but a new property owner, not really familiar with people away there. And I'm glad if I know say you belong to that place there as well. So my number now 077. I go put on the room anyway for let you see. 07740107250. And if you call from Freetown, because I really don't know where you are, if you call me from Freetown, don't forget for add the country code, yeah? You omit the 0. I go really like for hearing from you, or you can send me your number. I go get in touch with you. Back to you, Mr. Kamara. Of course, you are known, here for your strong views them and well-researched views them and etc. But here is the case, yeah? What you just say, I mean, we're not going to say it's an hyperbole, which is some kind of exaggerated statement or claims the way they try to make, but other than a statement of fact. Will you say that whilst you are live on camera to the rest of the world? What you just say about constituency 110 is a statement of fact. Is that correct?
Absolutely, a statement of fact according to electoral laws in our country. Now, a statement of fact. I'll give you an example of the precedent where that maybe don't happen, where we get problem now polling centers. And in fact, now larger polling section, you cancel that particular side, or you make a rerun of that particular side, but you cannot cancel the whole election. What the former chief electoral commissioner did was canceling the whole election when not get that power they for do at all. And I think this will be made clear to many people, people understand them. It could either cancel that particular side, that polling center there, make many vote to that side again. Meanwhile, the other side, when they don't vote all over the constituency, get that tally they already set. When they vote here and now, they take Adam there and check them, or it can actually cancel it and declare the results based on the other side already don't vote, because it not make up enough margin for call into question the result itself. So that is clearly stated in our electoral laws in our country. And I feel many people know that. And this is the problem. This is a travesty. Why so many people will know that, not come up for explain this and for say this openly and in clear terms. Let people understand, let the people in the constituency of constituency 110 know what's in the happen. Why nobody not enough for talk about all Yasu?
So let me give you the opportunity as well again for say, because you asked a very profound question, and like we try for say, this is not a matter of party politics. It's a matter of national politics. It's a matter of with democracy, which people died, they fought for, they died for. Okay, so if they go the wrong way, we have to address it in a collective. We cannot all agree, but we can disagree. And then we try for agree so that we can forge a way forward. So let us say this, based on what you just said, Mr. Kamara, why do you think, you're like people know they come out in the collective for can talk about something will matter to the state? What do you think on that, your thought process on that?
Well, that is the irony, because waiting do democracy, for the way we strengthen in our country, we get forget real true defenders them of the democracy. Now, MX will depend on a lot with the key stakeholders, we call them civil society people. In a way, they know what's not the constitution. They don't read and study the constitution and know the laws. They know we electoral act and everything. They know them thoroughly. Therefore, get the courage for come up and say, this is not right, this is not right, this is not right. And then for call them as how it is, because now them only go able to defend the democracy in our country, go make that democracy in our country go and strengthen and go good for the country. But if these people, for some reason or the other, who are best known to them, decide for coward out, decide for be quiet, and left this travesty for the continue, left this injustice for continue, you know, how on earth we own country, how on earth with democracy, we go able to forge ahead. And all lengthy and I'm going to try to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So them challenges there. We're in a quagmire. We're in a revolving door, constantly evolving. Because what do the people we're supposed for stand strong, we're supposed for defend, we're supposed for stand up for this constitution, we're supposed for stand up for democracy. When they call them to question, they're not doing it. And this is a big problem for we.
So who are these people, suppose? Who are these people? Because you cannot generalize them. And I sure say there are people particularly. Who are these people? Do we know them?
No, we know them. I mean, the civil societies, them. We know we'll get so many groups of civil societies, them. We get the interreligious councils, them. We get the judiciary, the NSF. We get the bar association, and the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, large, they all did it. These are people who can make press conference and say, listen, what thing go on is not correct. Now, so and so supposed to happen according to the constitution. Okay. So now, so and so will expect for that to happen. I believe, say, if them people that come out and make them press statements and they make them press conference and it'll go a long way for the powers to be made and realize, say, there is no hiding place in this particular issue. And this issue cannot be tolerated. You know, the power and somebody for we speak to them. You see? But
so let me ask you one final question before I let you go, and I really appreciate your insight into this. You never stop amazing me in a positive way. The kind of knowledge that you've got in these issues. But here is the thing, okay? So we can go on complaining, and for 14 months, this situation has remained, empty. There's a vacuum that exists. And like you've been articulate, the people of Constituency 110 not get representative. This is unfair in a democracy. It's supposed to be a critical component of democracy that everything, you kind of conjoin so that the democracy can go before as one. But unfortunately for the people of Constituency 110, this is not the case. Do you think that this will change? I mean, it's been going on for a long time. Do you think it will change? And even if it change or another change, how do we go about this process for try to change the status quo of which we cannot generally find ourselves in? Something is fundamentally wrong. That's the point I'm trying to make. How can we change this going forward?
Well, thank you very much, Brother Prince Emil Kuma. At least when you give me the opportunity for that, I got multiple talk here. Now I feel say, what should we do so? What should we do so on this platform? Go carry the change what we need in that country. I believe say we Sierra Leoneans them for come around and support short-term platform like this where you get to and be honestly channel them voice and the opinion them through them platform here.
Yeah.
Say what you think.
Listen, folks. Yeah, go ahead, Moment. Go ahead, please. You get how you call you don't contribute. You get how you call a man. You get Zoom now your phone, now your app. You get Zoom app. Yeah, you get Zoom app, not so. Okay, I'll send you the code. Use the code, yeah? Okay, then. Bye.
Okay, and thank you very much, Brother Prince. And it is very important for don't go set, don't go be dormant. Now we continue for call this call say, with parliament where they be any so now your background. They should not be sitting comfortable in that parliament there, where they know say a bulk of people that Constituency 110 has been they don't disenfranchise them. How they go say them?
Yeah,
they
franchise. Good word.
The people of Sierra Leone. How they go sit in a parliament comfortable? Say they represent Sierra Leone. But they're not, because people in there, plenty people in there, now Constituency 110, we no get representation. So this will be a topic for them for the bank on top of the table every day. Then for call the Electoral Commission of Parliament for they can't talk about her. Then for call other key stakeholders, men can't talk about them. I'm saying no, this cannot go ahead. These 10 people don't take past 1 year. Who democracy cannot be complete if them people are not getting representation.
Okay. I can't put it, and I'm not sure of who that will put them better than you've done, Mr. Kamara. I want to say thank you very much for your contribution to this particular program here tonight. And it's a program which we dedicate to the people of Sierra Leone. And Famulem, please be reminded that what we are talking about here is being adjudicated upon by the people of Sierra Leone. You can get your individual view, and the individual view can be very biased based on the fact that they support one side. We're not doing everybody they support. Okay, I think I get another guest. I will keep now the waiting room for a bit while I try for this address. Okay, so whilst we wait for the other guests, I will keep now the room for a little bit. I just to say this is really, really unfortunate because we're supposed to be in this together. I mean, we can disagree for agree, but the tension is so much in the room that we're not tend for agree. Yeah, you go hold on there, Mr. Fox, for like a minute. I will come to you shortly, please. We not tend for the see eye to eye, and this is bad. And one of the reasons why this is bad is because there is a disadvantage, there's a discord, and the gap just the widen. Identity politics is on the up, and this is strange, and this is difficult for us. Anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Kamara. I want to turn to another guest. Himself, he's becoming very prominent on social media. Sometimes we want to overlook social media, but the one way they overlook social media, it's obvious now the one they will not like what he really say, and what he really say is in behalf of the people, which is the many. So here tonight, for help me talk about Constituency 110 and a few other things. It's another media pundit, a social media analyst, Mr. Lawrence Fox. Lawrence, welcome to the program, please.
Thank you, Mr. Prince. Clear? You get me clear?
You're very clear and loud, and your video photo is exceptionally clean. You understand what you really talk about, and I should say, wow, there's a lot of people where we enter, so I will coordinate between one or two. So go on and just fire straight away because you understand the subject matter.
Yeah, if you look at democracy is a principle of a government for the people, of the people, and by the people. That means that the people them their responsibility for choosing the government. They never choose mediocre or people not trust. They choose person who don't trust. If I trust Mr. Prince, now I want choose. If I trust Lawrence Fox, now I want choose. That's how the people and trust Mother Bill and they want choose. Understand it? So the system where they in place for make sure say when the people then vote for be counted and hard. And they could get what they call a constitution. The constitution, they states the regulation. Not just when they go make overnight too. It's not dead already. So, because people are not stupid with the right constitution. Constitution, therefore, if we get conflicts, if we get disagreements, the person where they understand this disagreement, where they solve disagreements, are the constitution or more. The constitution of the republic, and they solve the constitution. I mean, where you can go court, and the judges then go look at for say, no, I don't value the constitution this way. I don't value the constitution this other way. Constituency 110, the people then go vote. Yeah? Let us give and take. There is fracas. I can understand that. But then if I look at them again, I go look at the security apparatus. Security apparatus, when I see them, then go mass the election box. There is a minister there, which map the mass the election box. No arrest was made. If you want to play the video for them, if you get them, so you can play the video from back again. Because this video is all over the place.
Yeah.
Then after which, now that's when they go put, they can't tell we say that they look for the one that we mass the election box. But there's a totality of 100%. Out of 100%, if you don't get 95%, you can call 95. 5% is invalid. With all that tension there. Because don't look at the total election we tell we say, don't look at Tijan Kaba I win. They had to cancel some play system. But that don't mean say Tijan Kaba in votes not still valid. Don't look at Anes Kroma I win. They get for cancel some side in the southeast for make Tijan Kaba win. I'm sorry for make Anes Kroma win. Don't look at Malabio I win. They had to cancel the north. So cancellation is within the legal rules and regulation. That is, you have to look at whether that's 100%, whether 200%, but and also for election violence. I'm not going to see about election violence. Whether it's election violence, but if you look at a minute figure of 5%, 5% out of 95, it's 100%.
Yeah.
When you look at the facts now, the fact here is they don't make the election. The man don't what's the color. But if I sober government within the 4 to 6, therefore don't, because the people in our constituency 110 are still not represented. And then they lead to incitement. And then they lead to incitement. Then they talk about hate. Then they lead to hate. That means that the government of Salone hates the people of Constituency 110 because their views, the opinions, and concerns are not represented in Parliament. I don't know what we talk about. So they continue to talk about incitement. This is an incitement. I think I said I don't over talk past you, sir, Mr. Chairman. You get the program, sir.
Many thanks, Lawrence. You put very succinctly, and that doesn't come as a surprise. You know, yeah, as a pundit, a political analyst, analyst of our times, and an academic. And at that, we can say to we people them. What you really talk now, we platform them. It's so clear. It's so, I like the way how you put them. Let me be very, very honest. Because we take the basic ingredients, then we throw them back at the people, and especially then one day where they say, well, this is not the case. How can you challenge such case that Lawrence has made on the basis of democracy, on the basis of how we define democracy, on a contextual basis, what is supposed to be? Lawrence, I'm not going to let you go. I'm going to keep you there. I get another guest from Salone, and I want to bring this guest come in until, you know, say data-wise and cost-wise, you are far better, you know, in terms of cost-wise, not as a human being. So, Mr. J, if you hear me, ask him. Mr. J, you hear me, sir? Damor, you hear me, sir? Okay, so maybe there's a problem with his, there's a problem with his audio. So are they monitor you on the side, Mr. Damor? So, okay, it's connecting to audio now. So it's connecting to audio. Last year, I can keep Fox for as long as he can. He lives in the United Kingdom, which he brags about all the time in terms of the facilities, the amenities, and that is a good thing. And if you make you at one, let's use that for changing the country and try for be competitive in terms with the other side. So we brought an nugget for the swim across the Mediterranean for Kamna, a side where, well, in many respects, it's okay. Jay, if you hear me again, your microphone mute. You don't try for join with the microphone, but it's on mute. So try for unmute them so go hear you so you go contribute quickly. Yeah, I shall say you hear me now. So you need for tap on your microphone because it's mute. So now they talk to Fox again. Anytime when you unmute them, okay, I think okay, you can okay, I hear you now. Yes, on mute. Well done. There is nothing really happen without perseverance. Patience is a good, you know, virtue. So here you are on live, and when they talk about Constituency 110, and there are many other things as well we're connected with what we talk about. Waiting you want to contribute to this program tonight, please, all the way from Freetown, Sierra Leone.
Okay, I want to say hello to everybody, and I appreciate Una. And I must tell Fox that I get better data service and that But anyway,
would they tell you they pay for that data the way you make you wait for listening to them? Yeah, okay, go on, please.
Boy, they say, no, boy. I want to take this opportunity for really express me profound appreciation for Brother Prince. You know, after all is said and done, honestly, we are not in the fight with nobody. We're not in the fight with SLP. We're not in the fight with the MDs. We're not in the fight with nobody. We are just being Sierra Leonean. We are just being human. We are just being people who are passionate for the betterment of the country. Along the line, some people can misinterpret them, we then get their own agenda. But I believe say we not know where they express we self, not they at war with anybody. But if some people don't understand them today, they will definitely understand them tomorrow. Just like Ghana, they understand Kwame in Nkrumah today. Just like we Guinea Conakry, they understand Sheku today. You know, the list goes on. The Kenneth Kaundas and on and on. The Gaddafi of Libya. You know, Mobutu. Today, some people are understanding those guys, despite the mistakes or whatever, but they may get values where they may stand for defend humanity. So that is it about the cause we all try for, for help Sierra Leone. But anyway, moving to your point, I want to wonder whether if this is what we talk about. Is this the Sierra Leone, the cradle of education? And it's along this we talk about. This salon when the mother will give birth to professors, brains of Africa and other parts of the world. Now this is not the salon we talk about. This salon where now been the pride of the colonialist era. Whatever we want to look at it. Because Sierra Leone have been placed where full of gem, not gem like as in diamond, gem as in human capacity.
Yeah.
We produce a lot of brains. Now this salon this today, where with a mortgage with integrity and morality for just simply political party sentiment, tribal and regional sentiment. Is this the Sierra Leone? Now this salon this. Is this a Sierra Leone where even picking away in those years, yesteryears, picking away they go primary school, where go primary school in the years in the 70s, 60s, 80s. Then they speak better English past people the way they claim so they get masters today. Now that's a lot of this. When in special primary school picking of yesteryear, that mama with grandpa be uncle them. Where they speak today, they better pass some people the way claim say they get masters. Now that's something that we talk about today. Where openly we get people that we go disgrace with Constitution, we go disgrace with sacred documents, and 1 year on plus, no news about it. Are we serious? What is going on? Yes, we can vex, we criticize government for one reason or the other. I can say that's when we non enemies. But come to think of it, when it comes to the Constitution, it's everyone's business. Then they don't get nothing for doing with APC, they don't get nothing for doing with SRPP, they don't get nothing for doing with political party sentiment. It all has to do with waiting make we a nation, waiting make we a country we get national territorial integrity. Waiting make we a republic that document with constitution. Now it make we a republic. So when that document they be tampered with, or when they insult or people and go against waiting rights day by way of disgracing with electoral process, when that happen, any winning party for that secondary, everybody for left every sentiment and come together and fight for that one cause when now we national document, when now we constitution.
Yeah.
So Constituency 101.
110.
Able for day for 110. Come again?
Yeah,
110. 110. Can we say a whole constituency like that? Very important and pivotal constituency like that. Go there for more than 1 year under a non-constitutional arrangement. Yet we are bragging about having elite in education, people the way they claim to be the apex of education, yet nothing, an undemocratic arrangement for more than 1 year. What has gone wrong? Interreligious Council, the Church of Sierra Leone, Human Rights, Constitutional Review Committee, Democracy Sierra Leone, the democratic body, the International Democratic Society, The list goes on. IMAT, the US aid, the US embassy, the British High Commission. What is going on with it? Because all these people, when we've been there in a war, that they all may come together, mobilize themselves for deal with peace. And part of the recommendation we they make, when they give it that with the reconciliation documents, now for some of them think they are so, let me stay away from anything where they go against the Constitution. That was one of the salient clause inside the reconciliation recommendation, the document.
Yeah, just.
Where are you guys today?
Yeah.
As I speak to you, I'm becoming emotional.
Yeah, I can feel the emotions. That's exactly why I want to come in, because sometimes when you talk serious matters of state, of course we are human beings, but we can't stifle the emotion. We can allow them to let it flow for a while, but we clearly understand you. I believe the audience does understand you, and you make a brilliant case. Where are all those guarantors of peace? Where are they? Whilst peace they become elusive. Why did we do all this fight all the years there and die for democracy, and yet democracy seems for day up in some kind of smoke screen, and something fundamentally they go wrong with them, and yet all the senior party players there, then they watch democracy, if we go say they die, in the context of Constituency 110. Why will people from Constituency 110 be left abandoned? They not get representative if this is supposed to be an integral part of the democracy where we people infect and die for? These are the questions, and you can't make it more than you've done, Brother Joss. You really can't, and I really do appreciate you for this and your time, Natom. I just also want to tell you that a senior program they come on, and I hope you go join we now this week, which is called State Capture, the rule of extraterritorial. When I say extraterritorial, and they talk about Oba. How can one person or one group of people, yes, just capture the states, and they call everything? How can contracts just belong to one set of people? These are all the fluctuations inside with democracy, and something not right, and we need for the call them up. So I believe, say, you get one last word before you they go. Hello?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I look forward to that program. Honestly, I'm kind of broken at this point.
Yeah.
Related to what you are saying, I must say a bit off the program. Look at
feel free, please. Please feel free.
Look at the state of emergency. Yesterday, with not today, it exists for 5 months. The country were subjected to a war and war. And they claim say now because of the breakdown of constitutional rule, now bring weak and war. All right, we don't come out pan this war. People infect, they waste blood. But when the Sierra Leoneans say, well, we don't allow, we all come together, then peace come. And when the peace come, of blessed memory, President Kaba doing your own part for maintaining that peace. President Koroma, former President Koroma, instead of a huge part for consolidate the peace. That's what it's supposed to do. Now today, this same salon today, now they exist under a state of emergency that lack constitutional support. By so I mean, get no clause, no regulations. It's an open check, open blanket. Sierra Leone today, we don't fight, people they don't die for this one grand constitutions and democracy. Now we today in front of the eye. Today salon as they allow put on the Tkanga Kyo, na salon there. Now we this subjected to an unconstitutional state of emergency for 5 months. It tried for 5 months in with parliament. My dear, I'm broken, but carry on.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, brother. I will talk to you later. I really appreciate your contribution on the platform. But like I say, keep the good work going. Some are silent, some are more vociferous. When we talk among the media, there is no amount of antagonism which is going to scare us away from what we do. Just what you talk on just now about the state of emergency. I just talk about on one of my social handle pages, and it's like you can't believe the kind of brimstone and rain and thunder and lightning that was rain on me. But what you don't realize is a kind of blessing in disguise, because I ask a plausible question. If the state of emergency came as a consequence of a public health emergency, and that public health emergency, they warrant the same state we did then, they don't begin to water down. In other words, school picking, they don't begin to go back to school, or we go back to school shortly. Shops, they don't begin to open. People, they don't begin to go back to work. Should we review, lift, XYZ, the state of emergency, which was a question, and that's what they rain on me. But I thank God the public, they watch, and then they adjudicate on these matters. Thank you very much, brother, and you look after yourself. Take care. The day of reckoning shall come. Bye-bye. Mr. Fox, thank you. Yeah, thank you for your patience on this. And this is what matters. Patience, like I say, now good virtue, because you get for say the last word anyway. That means where all man not talk, you can capitalize on all waiting and say, and then you take the show. But on a more serious note, this is the situation we will find ourselves, and your first contribution on this program, they talk about tonight, was just special because you captured the moment. But again, we go back to Constituency 110. What's in our expectation? How do we change this discord? How do we formulate something where we'll get we on a track where we go begin read we self again? Because there is some discord between left and right, between me and you. There's a rise of we and them. Them and us. If you understand what you're talk, how do we come back together? As I say, this myself they get a bit emotional because it's not something very touchy to me.
When that guy they talk so from Sierra Leone, I understand how they feel. Because I come out salon 2014, so I know in pain we they go through, yeah. But not to this we want, not to this we the hope for.
Yeah,
we voted for. We don't 10 years down the line or 20 years down the line. We voted for a democratic government. 25 years down the line, we voted for a democratic government. Then I begin to say we history, not to history with the panel. And now this will make a give kudos to APC. That is a party that is mature. Yeah? Being it where they want to say I'm immature. Because there is no country in this world. If my best people they do so, but I wonder how salon for the right now. Because imagine you deprive a whole constituency of then it brings to enlight again the sincerity of the opposition again to this paradigm. NGCO, the C4CO, the one way they talk about, what's his name? What is his name like? The one way they mention at the top force. What is his name?
Dr. Kande Yunkela.
Dr. Kande Yunkela. Again, I respect. So this is not your own show, I will get respect. Yeah? But the point what they make here is, if they're all sincere, they should have come together in parliament. They should have come together to oppose them kind of association at the pan. This election, because they all stand, all of them they all stand. Then people in a constituency 110 is still not represented. So for me, I look and say, if you look at the whole parliament is not legitimate for me. The democracy in a salon not legitimate for me. Because if constituency 110 is not represented, it should be a concern. Yes, and I will change the word saying, you say, and I protest.
And I agree with you. If I can just interject quickly, when you question the legitimacy of the parliament, because there are many things where you can actually cite for question this legitimacy. The elections of the Speaker of the House, the disbandment of the majority party now the House, how it come about, how cases have been heard. They bring injunction against certain party, another party bring injunction against another party, yet one side is being heard, and the other side, as we speak, it's not being heard. I mean, something really wrong, brother, isn't it?
Yeah. So now the points that they make here, the points I'm making here is, so democracy in that country, no day. I mean, again, a state of emergency. That's how I go look at it. So if we the call for, I make we the call for, we the Sierra Leonean people, we are calling for. I'm not saying that you the call for our. I'm not saying that APC the call for our. We the call for waiting. Matter be for go waiting because constitutionality now not they again. I don't respect constitutionality. The three arms of government they in jeopardy. The executive they in a mess. The legislature they in a mess. I don't say the legislature right now is not constitutional in terms of media constituency 110. I'm not represented. So I don't go make law that I don't be represented. I don't go make law that be concerns they're not in a parliament. I don't go make law that we get 10 parliamentarians. Imagine look at the 10 parliamentarians too. Yes, I agree to the courts of law. The legality among the courts of law, I still agree. I can still respect the courts of law. But then the constitution back tell you say when you remove, you have to allow them for appeal. When they appeal done before you replace. You understand? Eh? But then the people are soon pull them, so that means you not get intention. So you say these are all incitement. You get that? I don't think the people I don't think they pay me when you get the civil service. I mean the civil societies. We know they talk about like Marcela Samba, if I want to call him, then Tommy. I saw some of them. Where these are they Golukata, they all fight for democracy. So these are just white elephants. Then they tell we say people are being inciting. What do you mean saying they incite? These are the realities on the ground. The realities on the ground is people views are not being heard. People opinions are not being heard in parliament. People voted for their representative with trust. Okay, if they violate the constitution, I can understand that. Understand that? If they violate, I can understand that. But when they violate the constitution, they don't appeal. Wait till me take today. Not 3 years, they go so 2 years down the line. Take today, the appeal not been heard. You know, Smada Biosef, Dr. Siva Blind and Kang court. Samuel Kamara came. If na England, you for know me and you na England, which you talk. They can't even court and they listen to the case, then get timeline. So what about this timeline? The timeline is dead. So as a people, I could say because Madam you don't jeopardize the judiciary, you don't jeopardize the executive. I know they say that you the same. Yeah. I know they say
we got you. Go on, please.
Yeah. You don't jeopardize the executive, you don't jeopardize the judiciary, you don't jeopardize the legislature. So it means now Salon no longer a democratic state. So now make we the call say Madabio if for go. Now Madabio for go. We don't say some people for go. Possibly say please like I happen in South Africa. South Africa they look at and say Jacob Zuma for go, then choose their party leader. Jacob Zuma, he happen Jacob Zuma and zone. He happen England safe. We don't say Boris Johnson, I mean all incidents. Yeah, sorry.
So Fox, again, let I interject. You said a lot there, but you say something very critical what I ask you about. There are two things I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you this first, and then we're going to wrap up the program with the second question. First question will be, what you just say, Naimek will say Madabio must go. But Madabio has got, like a mandate, a presidential mandate, a parliamentary mandate for 5 years. He's done 2.5 of those years. You know, me say the people cannot call theoretically for Ngowan. But if we call for Ngowan, and on the basis of maybe they perform well according to the expectations of some people, if you were to go, does not mean that what you wish for will kind of take place. If we understand them as such, or if I get them right, will you still be calling for Ngowan, or do you have to wait until a completing term? Because should he go, it will only be replaced either constitutionally by a vice president or the speaker. We come on at the same womb. They are all of the same womb. If you understand what I mean, folks. If you understand, go ahead, please.
No, can I go? Can I come?
Yeah, sure.
Matter be it come on a mandate. That part I want to make people understand. Come on a mandate, on a democratic mandate.
Yeah.
That it means you for respect the Constitution of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
The people and views, like what happened at Constituency 110. You get the people and views after waiting for happen certain kingdom of the corridors of power. Like what happened at McKinney, you go kill people and they arrest nobody, then they do nothing. It means you violate the rights. It means you violate the Constitution of the Republic of Sierra Leone. It means a Constituency 110 election did not be conducted. It means you violate we rights as a people. It means you go back, you force parliamentarian, you force a speaker. It means you violate we rights as a people. So I know they say that SLPP for go. I'm not happy for go because they violate we rights. The SLPP then go choose another leader. See, we go be democratic. We go listen to we and respect the Constitution. And we call that.
Right. Okay, Mr. Fox. Thank you very, very much for that clarification, because I do hear this matter must go, and some people and they say I'm in a different context. Hence, waiting prompt me for ask you that question there. And the way you articulate them again, it makes absolute sense, I must say, because yes, he does have a mandate. If he falls short of that mandate, it's not like when where you say matter must go, means say the entire government must go, just that he needs to be replaced and somebody else within the rank and file or within the constitution need for fill the space. Thank you so much. And this is my final question to you before I let you go. And I want to say thank you very much for partaking in the program tonight. Owing to all waiting we don't say about constituency 110, owing to all waiting to happen, the president, because you're very opinionated, I believe, just like myself. Ben Kaifala, the scribe for the ACC, the chief minister, the president himself, the first lady, and all of waiting on to happen, folks. I need not break it down, into particles because you do understand. Give us a wrap up of all of this in terms of this constituency 110, waiting to happen in our country, and how do we bridge this gap if we ever will?
If you're talking about like the first lady, first of all, don't say, if you're not SLPP, you're not Sierra Leonean. Oh my days. Can you? And so I know I talk about the first lady first. Because sometimes I always want to make an issue. It's a Sierra Leonean, yeah? A first lady don't mean say get position. It means that the wife of a president. If not a country is so bad, the police for don't invite them. You understand? If we're taking a court, so that incitement stand the first of all. Because to SLPP, you did it, mean. So if APC now or other party members that retaliate, you know, it's a totality of war. Yeah, I don't know what the first lady. I don't think I'm talking about the first lady again. Yeah, if we look at Ben Kelfala, we get Alpha Thibault in case. 15 count charge. The man with the tell you like best man at the whole wide world. They speak all kind of English. They go withdraw the file. Now they know. I'm not sure. I'm not certain. But they say they don't reinstate. What? Are you kidding me? They look at the election. The AIG, when at Suvula at that time, the Inspector General of Police, let me make it clear, when at the AIG at that time of the Western area. Now in the one role supervise the one role Western area which they call it. Something happen like that. You know what I mean? They look at the minister, they were involved in that kind of thing. Which matter be you do and nothing. Look at Arata, we pass up and down with them talks and they look at with a girl, so a boy with day. I don't know his name, or I don't remember his name. He take picture with Fatima Biu. There is evidence. So it means this is an SLPP thing. That then go disrupt the election. So I'll go trust them now for conduct another election for we 2000.
Austin Johnny.
Not to Austin or the other. I don't remember.
Oh no, I just inject him, inside the conversation because I left briefly and I know say you.
No, I can't Austin Johnny. But I wrap out with Austin Johnny again. Okay. But let's look at like the ballot boxes that were meddled, that were messed up. Which one of the eight then they will take picture with Fatima Biu? The policeman then say another one nothing. Understand? So I know they ask you, they put them to you. I'm putting it to them. That this is an SLPP thing, it's a government thing. So they don't want democracy. They don't like democracy for go on under the watchful eyes of Mother Biu. I make Mother Biu for go. They look at Austin Johnny. I like where SLPP, I want for be fair enough. That's me. I like where SLPP denounced themselves from Austin Johnny, but that's not enough for me because Austin Johnny should be driven away from the party. But at least then take some action, then disassociate themselves from Austin Johnny. But let us look at the government of Sierra Leone. They're not distance themselves from Austin Johnny. Austin Johnny say they kill, genocide, and this and that. Madam Biu still supporter. So you don't see the point? I say Madam Biu for go. And that make her tell you say it don't lost in democratic tenets. Because as a government, then the way come out. The minister of now instance, every institutions for do what they're supposed to do. But because they're losing a Mother Biu in Bobo them, Mother Biu they do what Mother Biu wants. That make Mother Biu they continue for left them, then they continue. So we as the people of Sierra Leone, we are not safe under the hands of Mother Biu. That's the fact. We're not safe under the hands of Mother Biu. We're not safe under the hands say you conduct a free and fair election. In that country. We're not safe under Mother Biu, so we go raise we concern like what's happening at Makini, say you go listen to we. We're not safe under Mother Biu like what's happening at Lunsa, say you go listen to we. We're not safe under Mother Biu, what's happening at Tombo, you go listen to we. So we get concerned. Now that concern will make one pull Mother Biu, one make SLPP choose a democratic leader we go ready for listen to we and follow and respect the constitution. Now we concerned. It's our concerns.
Okay.
Simple concern. You look at constituency 110 election. Look at me. You know, 30 day nothing. So we are still not represented. SLPP parliamentarians are collecting monies in parliament illegally. That make you see the parliaments now. Like what Mother Bill say, it go through. What you do because it don't undemocratize the parliament. So right now for me, Sierra Leone is not a democratic state under this Julius Mother Bill. So now make we say Mother Bill for go. At that point in the day, go to SLPP for go because SLPP has a 5-year mandate. Like what happened in London, we get Boris Johnson, we get Conservative. You see how they do that, you know? We don't want Theresa May again. What you do? Because they play the. We don't want to do that again. We not Labour. We not going to Labour the support. We don't want Jamie Corbyn again. They pull up. They put on that. We not say that. We not say that Labour for go. Now Egypt happen. It happened in South Africa. It happened in Zimbabwe. They pull Mugabe. The Sujamanda overthrow them. Pull Mugabe. What them put? They put the same vice president in act. After I act done, they make election with time done. Then if the party win, the party win. So we're not saying SLPP for go. That's not the point. Because SLPP can be democratic. But then if we get a leader like a Mother Bill, we don't become autocratic. We don't become a tyrant. With everybody afraid. And the commander in chief. And they control the state. You know, fountain of honor. You know, the man is the god of Salon. So it's difficult. So now make one put the God of Salon. We restore the one who believes say is democratic, that listens to our views, that listens to our concerns, that respects our views, that respects our concerns. We go allow it for protest. Protest peacefully, because protest that we right. Tomorrow we go protest at Budget Park 12 p.m. 12. Sorry.
Yes,
12.
I was just going to ask you about that. The Black Lives or Salon Lives Matter. It just kind of in mind while you been go on. So that my question. Now you basically the address whether you were going to be there and whether you support.
I'll be there.
Obviously, I will. About. Well, so what do you understand? What do you understand about that movement there? And this could be my final question to you. You're definitely going to be there. And I try for go cover that movement today. I will be there myself in a capacity as a journalist and a social media analyst. I will be there. But waiting that you take about this movement as you understand them.
It's like sorry.
Yeah, go
it's
on,
like,
please. Go on.
Yeah, it's like simple. Like let people don't begin and say that APC or SLPP. It's a national call. You know a national call? I am an APC sympathizer. So not to APC they tell me say Mother Bill for go. No. As a citizen, APC, not as a citizen, they tell me say Mother Bill for go. Because of them concerns what they tell you about. People have been killed. People have been intimidated. Hate speeches is carried on in his own country, in his own camp. When they say SLPP, they do one. And as a government, forget about SLPP, now in a Salon government, the government of Sierra Leone, we're missing that the entirety of APC, SLPP, NGC, all the way in the parliament, they go against Austin Johnny. Austin Johnny should be arrested. You get what I mean? Eh? So that kind of concern that we'll get. I don't that the concern that we'll get to like as a Sierra Leone, they go the budget back for address for go carry issue out. Say this president will get. You know, Julius Mother Bill is a dictator. It's a totalitarian. It comes democratically, but it don't move now from a democratic leader now to it an autocrat. A man ready for kill we, no one of us can nothing. A man we can understand if you say the promise, you say they give you what I not give you. You can understand if you promise you say they give you what you not give you. Okay, wait for you 2023, we vote you out of the ballot box. But then, if you continue for harass you, that is, it means you continue for kill we, continue for intimidate we, continue for, imagine a Salon are the first country in this world. This one world, Salon, a Salon are the first country in this one world. When man they commit murder, they grant some bail.
Okay.
Man commits murder.
Folks, you've been absolutely marvelous. I really do appreciate you, brother, for your contribution on the program here tonight. Obviously, you've appeared a couple of times on the program, whatever. But I look forward, here for host you again shortly. As a co-host, but my next program therefore be the siege mentality. That's my next program. In other words, the capturing of the state, where you get Oba, now they know more the rule, where you get contractors. In other words, a clean, close-knitted community, just like how you say, the president has become the way how you describe him. But I look for somebody for help me for articulate that. I thank you very much for your contribution here tonight. And hopefully I will see you on Monday tomorrow at the demonstration or protest at Budget Park. I will be there. I'm covering the event, so I will see you.
I want to picking myself. So
I know say you know one proud parent, because on your show, you showed your kids, you're either riding bicycle or in the backyard and what have you. I mean, that is a typical example of a proud parent and the kind of situation where we try for, say, we country for being. You don't need for swim the Mediterranean for fend that same kind of life now. You can then have the same salon and get that same life there. So yes, I think, say, if you're not there for indulge in other activities and you get the time for, police them, when I say police, I mean for look after them, then why shouldn't you? But if you get for be involved because I see platform they expand, then maybe you will get for leave them aside because everybody gonna need your attention and there. If you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So thank you very much again, and God bless you. Take care, brother. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Okay.
You're welcome.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, nice one, Fox. Nice one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've just been talking, here to one or two personalities, and I'm obviously very, very thankful to. Before Mr. Lawrence Fox was Mohammed Kamara, Supermed. And they both made a clear case. And the case what would they make? Both guests they make and clear. This is not personal. Or if it's personal, it's because of country. Not because you are, not because you belong, but rather the country, and it's about the country first. So listen to what is being said. That thing that now we need for keep now we head. So we can just wrap up this issue about constituency 110. Because the guests then almost don't say I'm all. But constituency 110 are the only constituency we not get representation for over 14 months in the country. If this is also injustice, like both guests say, then you tell me what is injustice. Probably you get a different meaning or a new meaning which I'm not aware of. The land size or landscape of constituency 110 put them as the largest, if not the largest, constituency in the entire country, stretching from Godrich all the way to Tombo. Tombo, that place that will be there at the highlight of talk shows all over the place because of what will happen there. Okay? Nobody talk on behalf of the constituency of 110, and I saw Mr. Fox put him, and he's absolutely right. And I saw Mr. Kamara put him, and Mr. Kamara is absolutely right. This in itself is a travesty of democracy, as we titled the program, because it's a false and fake dichotomy, if I must say, about democracy. What in democracy is supposed to represent is far away from it. Constituency 110 is marginalized. Constituency 110 is marginalized. And that marginalized the way the constituency marginalized means the people need to enjoy their own, the democratic right. They are not enjoying it at all. So this in itself is wrong. And this is what we are saying here about constituency 110. I want to talk about funding a little bit, okay? I really want to talk about, they get a funding about 62 million leons. 62 million leons, now small and funny money. Of course, it depends on who that gets, but on a constituency level, 62 million, it's nothing, really nothing. So they don't change, they call that particular kind of money the Constituency Development Fund. Now, so they call them. But at some point in time, because many things don't happen, and we need to keep this in mind, then change them from the Constituency Development Fund to a kind of facilitation fund or facilitation fee, something around facilitation. And the essence of this fund on this fee is for help MPs to do what they want to do. But that the process in itself, in which was switched, has some controversy about it. Some people they want to call them corruption. Some people they want to call them, some kind of travesty as well, because it not represents waiting at the expectation or what is supposed to be. Most likely, this money then they use the MP now the place supposed for use them, or they use them for rent, for some kind of facility, some kind of office where it can use now the constituency itself for run the affairs of the constituency. When this MP did it, they can use that, for meet in constituents them, we can come for can complain, then grievances them where it will need for address. So in other words, there's a platform, there is an headquarter, an HQ, somewhere where they can meet both the power and the constituent, okay? But unfortunately, with Constituency 110, these are some of the anomalies that we are talking about. It doesn't exist anymore. So when this MP can rent this office, he can get 1 or 2 persons in the way, he can put the, or where they organize the office, even during the absence, so that the office is functional, okay? And you use that for meeting constituents, then like I've been say, also I go able for address constituents, then concerns, and then grievances, okay? And when you don't listen, and family will listen to this. When this process don't take place, you don't listen to your constituents, then grievances, then concerns, whichever way you want to call them, the MP can able for use this where it don't hear for can go back na parliament, who say action actually where the impact they happen in terms of laws, in terms of policies, that's where it happens. So here we go again. The people of Constituency 110 are deprived, okay? So there are concerns, if you like, that the constituency not a function at all. It's a travesty as well. Remember, I say travesty now a mockery of something we're supposed to be, we're not a be. So hence the travesty continue. Hence why I believe say, because I look at the word deeply and it reflects exactly what I want to say. The constituency not a function at all. It's a disservice to the people of the constituency. In other words, the constituents have no representation. The people are therefore deprived of their fundamental democratic right, just as the previous 2 guests then put on. By extension, we do know that if these people have no representation, we can relate that for me, or for appear like, or for look like. You know, when a shepherd, the sheeps, in other words, when you the shepherd sheeps, at least the sheep they get control, because they get somebody where they control them. They get somebody where they understand when they're hungry, when they're thirsty, when they need for rest. So the people of Constituency 110 have not got any of this. We need for imagine this, and now they make this case here so we go really understand, because so many of us have spoken to a lot of people, we don't really understand them as such. A constituency, they not get representation. It's like sheep without a shepherd for guide them through, for understand their concerns, their grievances, not at all. And this is supposed to be the role of the MP constitutionally speaking. I mean, constituency speaking. Even constitutionally speaking, and the role of the MP. The role of the MP, therefore, now for be an advocate for such people, okay? It can only do this, as they talk about the MP, for the people when the MP gets a platform. And the reason again back why I say this now, because there is no MP, so there is no platform. So the people cannot speak to a person who is supposed to be representing them constitutionally. There is no representation. And the representation is an integral part. I repeat, an integral part, a functional part of a democracy, of our democracy, of any democracy. If it is not, it becomes questionable, and therefore that democracy, as in this case, is not really functional because there is a gap. There is a gap, okay? Where is the representation for these people? It doesn't exist. Who understands, who caters to the problems of these people? How unfair, how unbalanced, how unhinged this is. Other constituencies have got representation. Within the same democracy, another constituency has not. This is wrong, and this is what we are talking about. When an MP is removed, that platform in which that MP is supposed to use, or which connects the MP between the people and themselves, or he or herself, is removed. It doesn't exist. So there's no connection there. There is no bridge. In other words, there's just chaos in the middle. is an unbridged democracy in which if the people attempt to get on the other side because there is no bridge, they are likely to be sucked into some sinkhole, into be driven into some dilemma that they are already in, into some chaos, be drowned if it were a sea, because there's no bridge for them to cross. And this is wrong. This is actually wrong. Within a constitution, I'm in a constituency, forgive me, I'm so, obsessed with the word constitution, which I believe is the guiding principle, guiding post for every one of us, including myself. So I keep using it in place of constituency. But thank God, within the seconds, I realized that I am trying to talk about constituency. But you can see that there's not a distance between a constitution, because you can see the first 6 letters, if not more, are the same first 6 letters in both. So a constituency and a constitutions, or singularly put, a constitution, both comprise 6 letters from the very start. And then from there, it takes a different turn depending on what you want to spell out. Well, here's the thing, yeah? There's a constituency development committee in terms of a parliament, in terms of a representation in parliament, in terms of a constituent representation in parliament, in terms of a constituency. The MP is responsible for building up a team alongside other party executive. This is the role of the MP. That's not the only role, it involves other roles. But this is one of the rules of the MP and very key in what I'm saying here tonight, this morning, this afternoon. Compromising the independence of people is very, very central in what is happening in Constituency 110, because there's an absence, there is a gap. The people do not have a representative. To make a constituency succeed, they have to, have an MP. There has to be an MP. That's the only way they can, be successful, because it's a kind of representation, and a full representation as demanded by the Constitution. But in the case of Constituency 110, other than every other constituency which has got representation, or in this case, as we speak, maybe one hasn't for some reason, but not as long as Constituency 110. That position has to be filled, okay? So Constituency 110 does not have these rights, these inalienable rights as other constituents. So they are disadvantaged, the people in this constituency. The largest constituency, if I may understand my geography well, stand to be corrected on these. They are not represented. The Constituency Development Committee that I was speaking of is largely responsible for building the team alongside the party executive of what the MP is supposed to be representing. In other words, when somebody takes a constituency, as we understand our party politics, is because a large part of that constituency, because it's by majority, believe party-wise that this candidate which belongs to the party which is fit is the party that they must subscribe to. So the Constituency Development Committee is responsible to build up a team of party executive that will work towards the success of that particular constituency. They are responsible to coordinate with others and ensure that the MP-elect is successful. Whatever the MP-elect does is successful because it's based on their advice. Unfortunately, Constituency 110 does not enjoy such a function. It does not at all. there is no committee standing, nothing at all. And Fambulen, finally, this is the end of this program. But I want for that we keep at the back of our mind with Constituency 110 as we go sleep, so we share some discomfort in waiting to happen to the people that within that constituency day. With all what I don't describe, this constituency, or all constituencies, or the way the system works in terms of what we talk about, not all like chieftaincy. In a chieftaincy, if the chief come out for go answer a question at all, if the chief come out in all day, it gets representation, okay? It gets representation, somebody will get represent them, either in deputy or some other way, how they think describe them. In parliament, as per my understanding, this is not the case. It's not the case at all. Nobody know there as a deputy for act. In other words, waiting happen or waiting this means, or the interpretation of this, is when an MP no day, an MP no day at all. Within the MP language or parliamentary language, either there is an MP or there is not. There is no gray area where you can play around. No gray area at all. Either there is an MP or there is not. In conclusion, Fambulem, I can clearly tell the audience watching now, will watch later, that the people of Constituency 110 have absolutely been deprived of their rights. And the democratic process has now become questionable, as it is in Constituency 110. But there's an opportunity, because this is clearly wrong. We see, say, they try for whole elections day, and for some reason, there was an intervention in the elections which was being conducted. Why was there an intervention? Who were those who intervened in a rude and very, very aggressive manner? Who were those? Why did those that did intervene in a very violent way? Then we will equally understand why was the intervention. I will leave down there for the public for adjudicate. If they don't adjudicate on that matter, they already. In other words, they know who did. And if they know who did, and then obviously come to the answer why. But the democratic process is now questionable. What we need for do as a nation, other than casting blames, government need for take action immediately to restore that. There are many contradictions inside with democracy, but some of the obvious ones then, they are difficult to deal with where you can answer them, such as Constituency 110. Why are other constituencies being answered? Why are they being dealt with, the problems affecting them, and other problems as well away from constituencies? But why is Constituency 110 still exist without an MP for so long? Are they not part of the system of the public order of the democratic process? Papa government, something needs to be done, and it needs to be done very, very soon. Justice delayed is justice denied. Fambulem, on this basis, I want to end this program here tonight. Absolutely on that note. I thank you very, very much for listening. Let me share this video. Brother Kaibanja, thank you for listening. And just for pay respect to many other people, Brother Kaibanja, Ibrahim Sise, get in contact with me or send me your contact. I will get in contact with you, Brother Josna Freeton, Brother Desmond Kaijimi. Me and Brother Desmond Kaijimi don't watch this program for over 2 years, but the brother still decide for staying at the background. I absolutely appreciate your support. You've been marvelous. Thank you so much. And many, many others, Brother Ambrose Tab Baba, I not even talk about that because there was some infraction that could not happen. I contact the government and later on and confirm that this did happen. Mr. Mohammed Supermed Kamara and Brother James, Brother Moses Ben Kanu, all the way in Gambia. We will bring you back soon. Hopefully you will deal with the internet problem in Gambia. Brother Ibrahim Asuma, Idris Toure, and I can go on and on. Dear Allah, we share this. This concerns every one of us, okay? It concerns every one of us. And like I start, I want to end on the same basis. The thing I believe in, honestly, Fambulem, is power belongs to the people. All government derive their authority, their independence, their power from the people. So you can bulldoze, you can use the people for some time, but not all of the time. Because after a while, it can be 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. But in the end, the people and they take advantage of the position right back. That's what happens. But you always get for try and keep the people in mind. Always get for try and keep the people in mind. This now they ask for. So on this basis, I say power to the people definitely is very, very important. So let me listen to Alpha Blondie. Yeah. This is at the end of the program. Thank you very much. We will look at the comments then later. So still expect some to be negative. But the people understand. Okay. If the people of constituency 110 can be left absent from the process, you therefore think whether they are part of the process or they are not. And if you condemn that or waiting to say here tonight, you need to wonder whose side you belong. Are you on this planet? So Alpha Blondie, power to the people. A complete disclaimer, we don't own any right to the music being played. We don't benefit anything from them, monetary, etc. We only play them for educational reasons. Thank you very much, everybody. Until sometime this week, when we come with state capture. Thank you for tuning in, and good night. Power to my people.